Okay, let's see here. What am I reviewing this week? Oh, what day is it anyway? Wow, has it really been a year already? An entire year has gone by? Oh, I probably would have never started this channel if Shezow just hadn't ticked me off so badly. It aggravated me for weeks and weeks, and finally I just broke down and said, this needs to be talked about. People needed to know how bad it was and have decent entertainment over the world of the internet. I didn't know how I was going to start the channel, but Shezow, you made it easy. So thank you for being so terrible. Oh, the good times. Okay, it's time to start the show. And wait, this is not the opening. This is not the opening! No! Change to anything! What makes you think I want to watch this again? I was reminiscing. I was looking back at how far I had come. I didn't actually want to watch another episode. Why would I want to watch this pile of atrocity that killed the hub? Yeah, Shezow killed the hub. That's why the hub isn't the hub anymore. Yes, I know there was a bunch of corporate mumbo-jumbo going on in the background, and there'll be a few internet trolls that will inform me about the entire story in the comment section. You know you want to. But dang it, this is the modern era, and we have to find someone to blame. The first generation of shows from the hub were coming to an end, minus My Little Pony, because it had just too big of a fan base. You weirdos. Meaning it was time for the next generation of new shows to keep the audience watching. We had absolute garbage and I'm not going to say that this is a terrible show, but remember, this was an instant replacement to Transformers Prime, one of the better reincarnations of the Transformers franchise. This was awesome with time and thought put into it. This looks cheap. It was an epic story of good versus evil. This is cheeseballs. There is no comparison. That means it really came down to one show that we were all really excited for, and judging by the commercials it was getting, the hub was banking everything it had on it. You know the punchline already was freaking Shezow! It didn't matter they had the Animaniacs on their side. This black hole of terribleness just sucked everything up and left us with a bunch of cooking shows and home renovators. Now, before we get into the actual episode, I do have one comment. It was my first review, and I must confess that I hadn't actually watched the original Disney short until after I made my video. Yes, I know, the tragedy and the inhumanity of it all. But the similarities are disturbing. Still throwing dead relatives, a questionably super intelligent computer, and his name is Guy. Yes, it was in fact Disney that came up with that dumb character name. So, with that said, I'm not sure if the people who made this thing were geniuses or morons. They obviously knew it had potential, but obviously didn't know why Disney canned it. They quite literally took a piece of garbage, gave it a fresh coat of paint, and re-released it. Alright, we're moving on. So, one of the reasons I'm doing this again, as it is addressing the another problem of the show that the first episode didn't get into. That's as dumb as Brick's best friend / sidekick. And I've run out of things to ramble about and can't stall any longer. This is Super Sidekick. No. I never want to hear that song again. We return to the lamest superhero in the world as he struggles to master new techniques.
Hello! The Beatles are winning! Come on, Guy, you can do this! Use your SP!
You are not nearly cool enough to be making Star Wars references. But I am.
With the blast shield down, I can't even see. How am I supposed to fight?
This show then attempts to wow us with some action moves, which is really hard given the poor animation quality. Why are your eyes different sizes? Lame one-liner later and we meet the missing flaw.
It's me. Math? No. The name's Shezow!
I hoped you all laughed because they think it never gets old. You see, the main gag of the show is not forcing a boy to wear a girlish outfit against his will. It's his crisis identity sidekick. Every episode he has a new identity, each one more worthless than the last. The problem with this, aside from them continuing to not take advantage of their main concept, is that most of his identities revolve around a bad pun/visual gag that at best induce a very slight pity laugh. And that's it.
That's a fake laugh.
It's real!
They really try and sell it. They take a pitiful one-time gag and try to turn it into a running one. So this moron...
It's Shezow?
I am not calling you that. And Shezow get called into action to go up against a convenient hair monster.
Step away from that!
So that's why he has a car to haul around his useless sidekick. Even though, in a prior episode, it was addressed that Shezow has never had a sidekick before. Why do you have a car? How many powers does this guy have? They try and make Shezow as overpowered as possible, yet fail to make him any more than pathetic and useless. Case in point.
My hair! It's caught! Let Shezow go, you furry freak! If his hair, her hair gets messed up, she loses all her powers!
What?
Her hair gets messed up, she loses all her powers!
His weakness is his hair getting messed up? Well, Superman has his kryptonite, Daredevil has his noise pollution problems, and even the Hulk suffers from liking pretty music. So, as you can see, even the best superheroes suffer from one kind of weakness or another, so you should not feel so bad about your shortcomings, Shezow. You should feel bad that you have the most pathetic weakness in the history of ever! Do you know how easy it is to get your hair messed up? Any form of water, wind, or weather for that matter. Moving too fast. Taking a hit. Have a leaf get tangled in your hair. Yes, a leaf. Shezow, brought down by leaf. The only thing worse is the fact that the entire show just stops to fully explain it. Like the show knows we won't be able to figure out because of how stupid it sounds. Be honest, would you really believe that this was his weakness if it didn't straight out tell us it was? So the monster throws the lamest sidekick of the lamest superhero into a battery factory and... that somehow gives him the power of flight and defeats the monster. I have no idea how or why that worked. They just need to rush into the next scene, so they just make stuff up as they go along.
Did you see that? They loved me!
Yeah, just leave the super stuff to me, okay?
Sorry. I won't bother you next time you need your butt shaved.
You got lucky. Somehow. Do you even know what you did? Can you repeat it?
Just drop me off here. I'll walk the rest of the way home.
Oh, come on, don't act like a girl.
Ha, look who's talking.
And? Come on. No reaction? No comment? Just slapping him in the dress is not enough! You have to do something! Ah! So Naz's newfound glory has gone to his head and spreads like wildfire. You know, if Shezow wasn't such a terrible superhero, they wouldn't fall for another hero so quickly. And what way do they orchestrate this point?
The bad guys won't stand a chance against the all-new Shezow with turbo clippers and laser eyes.
That was absolutely boring and nothing. The episode is failing. How could they possibly save it? While do the whole pointless commercial again, but in Spanish.
Contra el Toto Nuevo Sheverin, con aspiradores turbo y ojos laser.
It's still boring.
Both know who the real superhero is.
Yeah, but even I don't have laser ojos.
He doesn't have any powers, you moron. It's a toy.
You are a toy!
Oh, and his fame-obsessed best friend even goes so far as to redecorate the lair, as the super-intelligent supercomputer just sort of let him. Get your own lair, you worthless piece of animation.
You don't live here. Go home.
Oh, the classics. He continues to be an annoying knothole, and...
Statue in 5 minutes.
Statue? He's got an action figure, a comic book, and a statue? And he gets to wear pants!
Wait, what was that?
And he gets to wear pants!
I don't believe it! I don't believe it! It finally happened! They actually made a joke at the expense of him having to wear a dress!
I wanted to be Shezow more than anything, and you snatched that away from me.
And then skip over what could be funny plot lines. And...
Hero in this town? Is my skirt up in the back?
oh, just forget it. Cancel everything. Turn it off. Put it away. It's not worth it. Shezow then runs around town proving how pathetic of a superhero he is. We already know that.
What? Huh? It took me hours to set up that shot, and now you've destroyed my work.
It's not her fault.
Oh, look! Dummy here is in yellow with a face mask, just like... oh, forget it. It wasn't funny the first moment you dressed up.
No way!
Shezow, I need to ask you a question.
Oh, she-rific.
Can you take my picture with Shaverine?
Hey, isn't that the cop father that doesn't like superhero vigilantes that would like nothing more than to lock Shezow up?
No!
Okay, just checking.
Coming up on Butt Wipe, Tad Demented.
Alright, this is a good time to address this issue. As Guy lays on his couch feeling washed up, there have been comments and research and blogs and discussions and all that other stuff saying, oh, he's gay or trans or whatever, he's supporting a cause, or it's good to have a superhero role model like this, yada 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 yada. Few reasons why this is not true. As you can clearly see from this visual example, when the dress is off, he is 100% testosterone-filled male. There is no gender identity crisis. Reason 2. With the number of bad visual gags and having as many bad puns as Mowgli's story, this was clearly intended to be nothing but comedy. And I don't think this show could shut up long enough to actually handle tackling a serious subject like that. Reason 3 is the same reason putting a boy in the dress isn't funny. They don't do anything with it! I could at least acknowledge that that was what they were trying to do, but it's just a boy in a dress. And that alone doesn't mean anything. And the final reason, even if you want to disagree with all of my other points, is... Shezow sucks. He's a terrible superhero, a nuthole. No way is he any kind of role model or someone you want to associate yourself with. Back to the story. The battery factory from earlier is...
Live from the Megadale Battery Factory, which has become quite the tourist attraction. Literally.
Are you sure that's a battery factory? It's more like a plot convenience factory. And big shock, the moron in distress is quickly outdone.
Attractive! Guy!
And he ran there. He didn't even need a car. Why do you have a car? So Shezow goes to yank the moron in distress off, but...
Let's get you out of here. Yeah, my hair!
Again? Watch out!
Shezow, brought down by static electricity. You have the worst weakness imaginable! At least with Samson, Delilah had to cut off all of his hair. You just have to build up a little bit of static.
Must reach shellac.
Your hand is right there. How can you not reach it? Oh, this animation is terrible. The moron in distress gets the instant hair fixer because Shezow has to carry around 5 bottles of this stuff to go anywhere. Guy breaks out.
Who turned out the lights?
You have super strength. How is that stuck on your head?
Use your she
Use the Force, Luke.
Oh, whatever. He uses the Force, smashes a bunch of objects before deciding, oh hey, we should get out of here, and grabs Naz and makes a run for it. The super magnet thing destroys an entire city block, inflicting who knows how many casualties. Number of people that were probably in these buildings? Number of people saved by Shezow. And didn't even stop the magnet. Just let it sort of blow up. You suck. Okay, yank the helmet off your head and have your moment so we can end this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have super strength, and you can't even take a helmet off. You are the most worthless, pathetic, terrible, useless superhero that has ever existed. You don't save the day. Your weaknesses are all too easily exploited, and top it all off with this piece of garbage animation. This is a giant piece of wasted potential. They bypass concepts that might actually be funny to focus solely on bad one-liners and dumb as bricks sidekick. It's not funny, it's not even interesting or meaningful. This whole show is like watching a train wreck. Just continue to avoid this show completely, and if I have to review another one of these episodes, the heads will roll of everyone responsible for this mess. Allow me to rephrase. If I have to review another episode of these, I will have every station hacked so it plays nothing but Shezow for an entire week. If I have to suffer, so will you. That is better. I am the great Matthew Squeak, and this is Squirrel Talk Review. Thank you for watching, like and subscribe, donate on Patreon. I hate you, Shezow.